Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
He's riding the wave, Kelly Slater, 2006, and he's raining big punches. Big
he's got those hooks in deep and really pinning his hips down to the mat, trying to get the finish here early in round one, and he does, and he will secure the KCFA heavyweight amateur title.
Yeah, Petersen doing a really...
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, my partner, Damion, the Wolverine Hill. We're having a fun one here tonight. Trash Talk is joined by Thomas Petersen, and this isn't your normal Trash Talk interview. We're going inside the trash can, which is sponsored, as always, by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Strings Tattoo, The Fighters, and my mom. Tom, how are you doing tonight?
It's a pleasure, man. Always happy to be on here.
Oh, man, we're always happy to have you on.
Hell yeah. I love the fact that you laugh so hard that TJ's mom sponsors the show. I actually brought her on as the sponsor.
Oh,
so, yeah. Yep. No. I'm sorry, TJ.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, my God. Dude, you should hear some of the crap that me and TJ say to each other. Just, oh, my God. We'll call each other and just say, what up, ho? And respond, what's up, expletive. And then expletive, nothing. And then more expletives. We swear a lot at each other, and we call each other like some really messed up things. It's funny to me.
Oh man, you guys should do Super Troopers, like they mess with people. Like I bet you won't see meow 9 times in your broadcast. Like just have secret little things hidden.
You probably could do something like that. I never even thought about that. That's funny.
Oh man, no.
Oh man. Anyways, back to this, Tom. Glad to have you on, man. One of the fan favorites. Every time we have you on, everybody always seems to get excited, and I'm always excited to talk to you. But I mean, we're going inside the trash can, but you do have a fight coming up pretty soon. So I mean, how's that going? Is that gonna fight a guy soon?
Yeah, I'm fighting that Shane Edmonds, who he seems like a bad dude out of Illinois. Man, the guy looks like he hits hard. Looks like he's always ready to fight. Yeah. I honestly don't think he's made it out of the first round. He's had 10 fights so far, and 9 of them went his way, and then one of them, he came up short. But it should be a war. Should be a good fight.
Man.
Oh wow! And this is gonna be your pro debut, I hear.
Pro debut.
Is that you, man, dude? What was were you planning on going pro before your last amateur fight, or was this something that just came up?
No, I've been wanting to go pro for a while. Everyone tells you to wait and kind of get your experience, but I'm ready to shit or get off the pot. I want to fight, and I want to see how far it'll go. I want to be prepared, and then I want to be steady when my shot comes, and take the best shot I can. And I think my time's now.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like that's a fair assessment. I mean, you've been the consensus #1 ranked heavyweight every month. The Trash Talk's been going. You've consistently fought the toughest guys, and you've consistently shown to be superior. So, I mean, I feel like the time is now. What was a decision that ultimately, just the coaches finally agreed with you to make the go pro, or did you get an offer you couldn't refuse?
Basically, the coaches kind of, finally gave in and let me do my own thing, or let me go after it, not do my own thing, but go after it and try to make a run at it, and they're supportive. And, Tom said that right away, first day you walk in the gym, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. So we're, everyone's on board, everyone's on the same page, and we're, training hard all week. So, whatever, ready to fight, let's do it.
Yeah. Does that excite you, knowing that you got Tom's approval finally? You've been wanting to go pro the whole time. And
it makes you feel good. But either, the guy's got your back, and that's why, he's a loyal guy to, he's a good coach to have, man. One of the calmest guys in the corners I've ever, seen in a high pressure, situation.
Yeah, I mean, man, probably hundreds of thousands if we had to count on our fingers how many fights he's cornered.
Yeah.
He's been in this game for a long time. I mean, man. you try to think about it, and I'm like, I go back and I can't even. I'm like realizing, I'm like, oh, he was in the corner of that person when they fought. What the hell? Like, how long has he actually been in the fucking ring, dude? Man,
And you
gotta,
can tell it's like it's an element when he's in the corner, man. Like he's, he calms shit down. You feel wound up, and then the guy's just got a calm and sense to him, and it shows when you're exhausted, and he's sitting there, filling you up,
Yeah, no, hell yeah. Is he one of the? I mean, when I say like intense, I mean like involved in like making you repeat. Is he one of the more intense coaches in the definition that I used that you've ever had, like compared to like the wrestling days? Because I mean,
he's up there. He's up there in consistency and kind of we don't work the basics and get good at the basics, and then he's got a whole system set up and it works great, man. And he is intense, but he's not a guy that's gonna sit there and scream at you, try to get people knocked out in his room.
Yeah. No,
he does it right,
Yeah, no, my intensity definition is a little bit different than other people's, but yeah, like because you said earlier, I mean, he's a calm dude. Like in the corner, he knows how to stay relaxed in high pressure situations, knows the right things to say to each one of his fighters. I've had a lot of conversations with him. I've been lucky enough to do that, and man, the more we talk, the more you understand that he understands way more than you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that dude.
Yeah, Tom's definitely, I think a wizard is probably the word that sums it up best. I mean, the gym at Spartan, it's shown through every talent there. And, obviously you're just another example of that. So, I mean, last time we talked to you was leading up to your last fight where you had a big win at the LFA. What's everything been like since then, man? I mean, what's life like for Tom Petersen at this point?
Well, I took some time off to deer hunting a lot, a lot of bull so I kind of just been taking it easy. I kind of hit the brakes a little bit on fighting, and I kind of relaxed. I hurt my hand. Not that that's a big deal, but it kind of you go to work every day, and so I decided let my hand heal, let my body heal from that last fight, because the next day after that fight, man, you woke up and I felt like a train hit you, but I love every second of it, but.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, you said it's not that big of a deal when you hurt your hand. It's like, dude, this is how you're a pro now. This is how you're gonna make your money. You need to protect these at all costs. So you did the right thing. Trust me.
Yeah. You run yourself into the ground, man. You gotta heal. Healing is just as important as training,
Yeah. Hell yeah. And now, kind of getting off topic with fight stories. With fighting and everything. But fight stories is something that is. I love to hear, and the thing is that you were explaining to me like how small the community is of wrestling. And the funny thing is I started mentioning that the 3 most requested people to be on the show are you, Cody Milhausen, and CJ Hayes. And then you said that you there's a background story between all 3 of you guys. Like, man,
That Milhouse, I think he wrestled my brother at Ridgewater. I wasn't really that close with him, but he was always very friendly, always a very nice guy. Every time I seen him, always come up and talk to me, and very classy guy. And then that Cooper James, I know a little bit more than CJ Hayes is what I grew up calling him, and I think everybody around the circuit called him. And one of the nicest guys in the world. And but my first encounter with CJ Hayes was I was 10 years old, and my brother and him would wrestle on all the Storm teams together, or the USA state tournaments. They'd always run into each other. Yeah. And so they ended up being good buddies, and Zane brought him home, and I was passed out on my bed, And it must have been 8 o'clock, and all of a sudden he's got some he's making that noise, and he's straight up, party boy, and basically humping my face, and I was passed out. Woke up to that, and that's my first introduction to CJ Hayes. But the guy is one of the nicest guys in the world.
Wait, So that was the very first time you ever met him.
Ever.
You went party boy right in your face.
ever, man. Like I heard, like, yeah.
Dude, I'm sick. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so
my
funny.
God, dude. Okay, I totally believe you.
Oh man,
Like that's
I don't
like,
doubt this story in the slightest.
after speaking with him as many times as we have, like I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times he's been on the show, but there's hours and hours of conversation with that guy that was not recorded.
This wasn't recorded. Yeah.
And dude, he's tells some of the funniest stories in the world.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
that
just-
boy's wild.
Man, like next time he's on, like I'm just not gonna hit stop record because like I need all of it. I mean,
Yeah, that
man.
guy. Oh, go on for
And-
hours. It was
and-
all great.
and he's so nice and respectable too.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like he's a fun guy to be around.
Yeah,
Just like-
I enjoy his company every time I get a chance to.
And I feel the same way about you too, because I mean we shared a bunch of stories off camera, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, and I don't know, you have a presence and an aura about you that just makes it comfortable to be around. You're so nice, and no disrespect, one of the least intimidating guys outside of the cage. But then as soon as the door closes, it's like, oh my God, please get me the fuck out of here, you know. And I'm not even in the cage with you.
Fuck yeah, well man, that's what it's supposed to be in this world, dude. Nothing but respect outside, and everyone's got the same fucking dream. Everyone's got, we just, we like to fight. We want to see how good we are. We want to test ourselves, and that's what this is all about. And I feel the same about you guys, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Even at the fights, you guys are so awesome to talk to, even when you guys are all busy,
Yeah, well, dude, we're nothing without the fighters, you know? Dude, have you
And
always been this laid back?
Yeah, I kind of, I'd say so. Like, I kind of, before fights and stuff like that, like in high school, I kind of trained with a different mentality where I wanted, I kind of wanted to be the best, I wanted to be a bad motherfucker. I want to, and I tried to walk around with that mentality a little bit, not really, but even warming up for my matches, it was a whole different, you listen to fucking, I can't even think of any like hardcore bands right now, but like some hardcore music and, really get in the zone. But then after college or even when I got to Iowa Central, I realized that I'm in this sport because I love it. I'm not in this sport because I want to, I'm putting so much pressure on myself and I'm going to be a bad motherfucker. Yeah. I'm in it just because I completely enjoy it. And I stopped listening to music like before matches and shit. And I would just try to be as calm as I can, train the way you fight, the way you train, in practice. We're not listening to crazy music or nothing. You're wrestling calm in practice. And I try to, make everything the same. And I always try to be nice to everybody in the game. Anyone that shows respect, hell yeah, man. I don't care how good you are, as long as you're respectful, and that I'm gonna act like you're the best too,
Dude,
No,
I
man.
love it.
That's great to hear, and that's just the experience. Obviously, we've gone into, your accolades in wrestling, and I feel like with those experiences, you've come to realize that competition, it's a beautiful thing. And one of my favorite things to tell people, is when you talk about fighting, they're like, oh, you see guys get so angry, and I'm like, yeah, the funniest things to me are when guys are in the back and dudes are pacing and they're smacking themselves, and it's just like, dude, why? Like, I mean, I just don't get it. And I feel like once you get to that level of calm, it shows in your performances. And I mean, look at your last fight. I mean, it definitely showed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And things gotta go right. Everything's got there's a lot to it, but yeah, unless you're training like that, smacking yourself in the face at practice every day, and before going out there, then hats off to you. But
I do not recommend doing that.
Exactly. The longevity of this sport is already pretty short, and then each punch you take is one less you can take in the future. Yeah. So please don't do that.
Well,
don't
and
hit
it's
yourself.
also like, man, I think when people get so hyped before shit, like I like to say, you blow your load before even going out there. Like they let their nerves take over and they gas out.
You see there was a story or Mike Tyson was telling a story about when he was getting ready for fights, he would take his boxing gloves and he start punching the walls until like he could feel the padding like get smushed down into his gloves, so he's like thin and just like almost bare knuckle and everything, right? I tried to do
that's
that.
wild as shit.
I tried to do that in my very first fight. Like I was listening to Mike Tyson getting all amped and shit or whatever. Started hitting the wall and driving it and like digging it into the wall, like and just grinding it, pushing down the padding. The commission saw me doing that. They made me change my gloves and almost got suspended. Like, I didn't know that was against the rules. I heard Mike Tyson say it.
Yeah, no shit. I guess Bush League, huh?
What kind of rules are these? Can't even fight like Mike Tyson? This is bullshit.
But I'm using that as an example to see like all the other times that I've seen people warming up ways that they've seen on YouTube videos and stuff. Like there's that those instructors that sit there and punch their fighters in the chin because it's like toughening up your chin.
Yeah,
and it's just like, dude, I've seen coaches do that before the fights. Like start actually like, I mean, like a slap to like wake a guy up or whatever. I get, some guys react differently to certain things, whatever. I still don't recommend it, but there's literally guys that will sit there and like 5 smacks to each side, like full blown. You ready? And the guy's like sitting there cross-eyed, like, and then goes into the fucking cage rock, dude. Like,
Dude, I mean, the biggest example of that was for sure Clay Guida. Clay Guida used to get hit about 10 times before fighting, and it's like,
for some people it works, man. I mean, I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I don't even want to be
anybody
touched.
ever cornered me. I do not want to get smacked before my fight. That's not something I'm looking forward to by any means.
Oh man, how would you react to that in this situation?
If somebody just straight up backhand me,
like the off chance that you had to be cornered by somebody who's never worked with you or only worked with you a few times, or or this is the first time they cornered you in a fight and they thought it was the right thing to do, like. I'd probably be getting into 2 fights that night.
Yeah, I think, especially if it was somebody that was new and it's not like your coach who like you're like, ugh. But like I think it'd just be a moment of just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, did you just fucking smack me?
What?
Sit down.
It'd be like the scene from Rush Hour when he goes, "Which one of y'all just hit me?"
Dude, I'm getting sick. Oh my god,
Damien's gonna get us sick through the Skype call.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
I hope the people can't hear
the
that.
guy in like a month.
Who does?
Tom.
Oh, I thought you said me. I'm like, no, I don't, dude. Who did you set me up in a fight? What the fuck?
Celebrity fights, baby.
Dude, I talk shit to people online. I'm like, dude, what Damien will beat your fucking ass, bro?
Sounds like
He's right here, man. He sees this shit.
Don't we all got buddies who do that though? I mean, I seriously do.
Oh yeah, and especially when one of those nights, you never know what's gonna happen.
You're out at the bar just having a good time, and all of a sudden your buddy starts getting a little like, "We'll fuck those guys up," and it's like, wait, what?
Like. You French?
You mean I might have to go over there and fight these guys? Like, come on, dog.
Let's just be on the sidelines, boys.
Yeah, right, man. Hold on. I'll take the camera. I'll go World Star for everybody, man.
Hey, I feel like I'll be the best cameraman to ever hit World Star. As a connoisseur of World Star hip hop fights, man, I have nothing but frustrated with the camera work on that website. And if they do watch this, please, just go widescreen, like please.
Come on through the tripod.
Oh man, dude.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah. I should have sent my scrap at 3 Rivers Throwdown to World Star. I don't think it was that good enough video though. Like if we had the opposite side of what had happened, it would have been perfect. I think.
I still say the side you have is the best side because it's from the other side of the cage. Buddy just starts walking at you, and all of a sudden he just disappears after a right hook.
I felt like Nate Diaz, dude. It was so badass.
Some random dude walked in there. Or what? What are you talking about?
Oh, you did. Oh, dude, I gotta send you the video then. Oh my god, yeah. So I threw in the towel for one of my fighters, and some guy ran all the way from the beer stand to the corner of the opposite side of the cage, and the beer stand is like a mile away. you know, and he sprints all the way down there and he starts getting in my face. He pushes like a little table that bumps me or whatever, and he starts calling me a pussy, starts challenging me to a fight, starts telling me to come on. And I walk towards him like, dude, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. And as I'm walking towards him, I'm like, oh crap, I'm walking towards him. And he's coming back towards me. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. Boom, boom, boom. And it was over. He was on the ground. They picked him up. They took him out. Everybody started buying me beer. I got knocked out of the night. It was dope as shit.
That's wild.
Honestly, it was kind of funny, but like in the moment, like I was just like, what the hell just happened? But then like I've been in so many encounters like that and stuff. Like as soon as it was done, I was like, ha, got him. Yeah. I was all celebrating and all happy and everything, and everyone's like, Damion, do you know what just happened? I'm like, yeah, the motherfucker just tried to threaten my life, and I neutralized the threat, and now he's out of here. You know, so now, yeah, you know, it's
now
like,
I can relax and enjoy my evening.
Yeah, you don't seem like you were in fear for your life. It's like, yeah, I'm not anymore because the threat is neutralized. What do you not get? I was when I hit him, though.
I'm sorry, sir. What does scared and in fear of your life look like? Because I'm not sure what that looks like. This is just my face. My face looks like this all day. Whether I'm in a good mood, bad mood, I'm tired or hungry, my face just looks like this. There's nothing I can do.
Just scared. Just scared.
Yeah, we have to say that for legality reasons. Legality.
Yeah,
that's the word.
If you haven't seen the video, it's well worth it.
Yeah. Send it to me when you get a time.
I want to pull it up right now, but it's gonna take so long. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I forgot that we're recording. So let's keep this conversation going, man. So the moral of the story, going back to everything you just said. Did you get a deer?
Yeah.
I did. I got a little late. So we got her done now, and so we're gonna focus on fight game now. But that shit is that is an addiction. That is an addiction getting out in the woods. And I want to give a shout out to one of my buddies who down in Kansas, Curtis Julson, who was an All-American at North Dakota State, and one of my roommates and really good friends. Pulled out this monster freaking 8. Oh, it wasn't an 8. It might have been a 10, but just 4.5-year-old buck, man. Just a Kansas freaking monster. And, I'm hyped for him. It was, oh, man, it's just one of those things that, like, if you get into hunting, he got this freaking buck on with a bow on public land. Oh, it was just if you're a bow hunter, you know how tough that shit is. So I got my little 8.
I don't even hunt, and you made me feel like, okay, that's a big deal. Yeah. That's a big deal. You know?
It's huge. It's huge, man. And it's just, he's sitting there sending me pictures every day.
Dude, are you only allowed to get one per year, or are you allowed? Is it per weight?
It's one per year. Usually, you get a buck and a bonus. For like, it depends what zone you are in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I got my doe with a bow, and then I got my buck with a gun, which I don't, it is what it is. But I love bow hunting so much. So but if you get a buck, usually you're done. You'll get one buck per year, even though there's like 3 seasons. Yeah. The shit's fun, man. I recommend it. The thing is, it's an addicting thing. Man.
I gotta do it sometime, but I'm kind of afraid, man. Like,
exactly. That's the thing is, I have a lot of friends that are really big into bow hunting, and I have enough addictions at this point. I don't know if I can take on any more at this point.
Oh man, it's wild. It's a thrill. It's a roller coaster. It's just like fighting, man. There's ups and downs, but the ups are so worth it. You're sitting on a damn tree in like 20-degree weather for. Let's say in a week you sit out there for 10 hours or more, trying to every little free time you can. Hey, boss, can I get off work early here? I gotta go. It's an addiction, man. It's an addiction.
Man, yeah, I gotta do it sometime, but like I said, I'm afraid, and plus I'm gonna need somebody to show me. So maybe I'll sign up for one of your hunting coaching classes.
Yeah,
you can take me some
time, bush, baby.
Yeah, after this last couple of minutes, I'm pretty sure the television deal for the Tom Petersen hunting show is coming quick.
Yeah.
I felt the passion through the interview. I mean, we talked about it, all these things. I'm focused on bow hunting now.
Yeah. 365 days, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, dude, I'm having a lot of fucking fun, dude. I want to. Never mind. I want to smoke right now, but we don't do that during the interviews because it's respectful.
Yeah.
I guess.
Smoke them cigarettes.
Yeah. Sick of weed. No. CBD buds, baby. CBD buds.
CBD.
For real. I have that.
Medical.
I have it. I do. It's somewhere. It's not near my hands, but I do have it, you guys. Like, believe me. For real. Trust me, you guys. Like, why are you guys looking at me like that? Trust me.
I'm just looking at you, dog. This is just my face. We just went over this a couple minutes ago. I have the same face always.
Oh, dude.
Even when a homeless guy's trying to shank you.
Oh man, I don't think I even told that story on here. So, for those who don't know, I work and live in downtown Denver, Colorado, and I'm just minding my business today at this bus stop, or not even the bus stop. I was at a red light waiting to cross the street, headphones in. All of a sudden, I start hearing screaming, and if you have headphones in on full blast, you shouldn't be hearing people scream. All of a sudden, I look, and there's this guy who's homeless, possibly elderly, and possibly schizophrenic, and he is just screaming at me personally, just telling me how apparently I murdered a guy and I was going to go to prison for it and I wasn't going to avoid the law. At which point, Damien's story plays perfect into this. I realize I might be in fear for my life. So I'm like, if this guy approaches me in the slightest, I'm going to have to neutralize the threat. Luckily, unlike Damien's situation, the light turned green. I was able to avoid and move forward and, bide some time. But moral of the story is downtown Denver, some weird shit can pop off at any point in time.
Yeah. Dude. Oh my God. You remember that one time where they thought I had weed in my pocket? And like I had just got on smoking weed, but I didn't have it. And it was me, you, and Cheddar, and we had to talk to the cops for a second. And so basically, TJ had to talk to the cops because I don't talk to police. I don't talk.
Yeah.
I don't do that shit. And plus, I don't like to bring race into a lot of things, but it's a factor, and you always let the white man talk.
So naturally I had to slide in because talking is my profession. So now it's me, Damion, and a good friend of ours that we'll just refer to as Cheddar. We're sitting there, and I'm trying to talk us out of this thing because nothing's going. There was nothing wrong. Sure, we just got done smoking, but it was gone. There's nothing they could do. They could smell it. Yeah, they could smell it. And so the whole time they're trying to ask Damion questions. He refuses to talk. He's just
I'm just sitting there straight.
The cop's like, "What's your name?" He gives him his license. He's like, "What are you doing here?"
Okay, so this is what happened. Like, he asked me my name. I look at him, and I'm like, I look down at my pocket, and he like does something. I'm like, so I reach down, I grab my wallet, pull out my ID, and I hand it to him. I don't say a word.
It'd been funny if you would have just tried some bullshit sign language.
Man, I should have. Dude, I'm going to do that next time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
right,
Damien's just not talking. I'm trying to talk us out of this. Meanwhile, our friend Cheddar is going the complete other side of the spectrum, and he's just talking shit. He's like, people are walking by, and he's like, hide your fucking weed. They're looking for weed. And like, I'm like looking at him like, shut the fuck up. I'm looking at Damion like, dog, fucking say something.
Dude,
I'm like, shut up. Can we go?
I wanted him to shut up too, dude. I did. But I had already made the decision not to talk. I ain't saying shit.
It was sealed. It was already decided.
Like, I don't talk to police, man. Come on. Like, my ex-girlfriend's dad was a cop. And I was like, I couldn't even say shit to that dude. I don't talk to police, man. He was like, what's up, Damion? How you doing? Nice day, huh? And I look at his daughter and be like, it is a nice day, isn't it? And I'm saying that to you. And then and nah, that never happened. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Moral of the story, like we said, absolutely nothing happened. So we just carried on with our merry well day and got away with it. But it turned into one of the best stories I got in a long time. You had to have been there. It was just.
Oh, it sounds hilarious, especially if you're to the moon, man. Like,
Yeah.
You're asking me if I'm a fighter and stuff because of my ears, and I just not. It's like you ever heard of MMA? And they're all like asking TJ's like saying, yeah, I actually train and fight and stuff. Like, you fight? And they're like, TJ's like, yeah, and he's like looking at me, he's like, you don't even train. I just don't even answer the question and like look off. I'm like, I already told you. You keep asking the same shit. You already gave you the answer. Yeah. I'm just, dude, I had such an attitude. Like, it was funny as hell to me. Like, cause in my head, like, I'm just laughing my ass off. Cause like, I know what I'm doing. And it's just, I don't know. I knew TJ had it.
Time that Cheto's just going crazy, and then
the whole time,
TJ
the
just
whole
trying
time
to put together.
Yeah, all three of us. Just, we were
opposite realms.
Yeah, the whole time it's literally the tale of three different fucking stories, and like these poor cops had no idea. The best part about this was. I'm not going to say when or where, but when we were leaving, it was fights, and we were leaving a reservation, and like we were probably a little bit away from the fights, but we were still on this reservation. And my buddy Cheta, his mom is full blown Native American, but his dad's just a white dude. So like he comes across as just your average looking white dude.
Yeah, he looks just white boy.
Yeah, but like he's like legit, a native cat, and we're sitting there, and the cop goes, "Oh, we're gonna have to call in the tribal police just to see," and he goes, "Oh, my people," and the cop looks at him and goes, "Oh, are you from this reservation?" He looks this guy dead in the face and just goes, "Nah." And the cop doesn't know what the fuck to say. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, "Cheddar, you gotta shut the fuck up." Oh man, greatest story.
Yeah, that was funny.
The best part about it was they had no idea what to say. They had nothing they could get out of us, so they just had to end up letting us go about 5 minutes later, and it turned into the funniest story ever.
Wasn't it you who just said like, "Hey, we can just leave," and then it was just ended? Yeah, because like they were trying to like make it something.
Clearly, you guys can't find anything.
It's like
trying to go back home. Like
we'll just leaving
these fights, and that's how the whole thing came out. Oh, you guys are fighters? They looked at Dame, and he's like.
Don't do that shit. I've never been in a fight in my life.
Just throwing 3 pieces out there.
Yeah,
No time for the soda because the guy can't take the punch.
That was fun though. Oh my god. Now, with all the cop stories and street fighting stories or whatever, I think it's time to get back to Thomas Petersen.
That was a U-turn. That's what we call a U-turn.
We're sharing our stories with. We're sharing our stories with you. You're supposed to be sharing your stories with us, man. We're sorry, man. We just get wrapped up and
we gotta let them stories be heard, man.
We got fight stories for years, man. Literally.
I'll be listening. I'm always listening, man. When them come up.
That's the funniest part. If the fans want to know what it's like when it's not recording with the fighters, that might be the closest five minutes you'll ever get. Just create this nonsense, and that's my favorite part about this, because we get to learn so much about these fighters, and then in situations like that, we expose ourselves and just let guys know, this is where we're at, because I'm a firm believer if you can't trust a man without dirt on him, so you gotta hear those stories like, all right, this guy's one I can trust right here.
Oh man, dude, what's the strangest thing that you've seen in the locker room? Like, you don't got to name any names or anything like that, but like, have you seen anything like that yet? Because if you haven't yet, dude, wait until like you start traveling a little bit more. Because I know you've traveled already a little bit, but man, dude, you're gonna see some wild shit. And I'm like, but have you seen anything wild or anything that you thought was odd yet?
No, because it's kind of, I tell you the truth, like I'm basically sleeping, like just feet up on my back for like we get there at 4, we fight at 6:30 or something for that amateur. Yeah. So I'd get there, I'd sleep, like just chill till 5:30 or so, and then I'd get up and start warming up. Not really care about anybody, my teammates obviously, but if they need me, I'm there for them. Otherwise, then I get up and then I go find a place to run some sprints quick, and then do a little pad work, and then I'm fighting basically. So I kind of don't really pay attention, I guess, to really see anything. But I'm sure if there was something crazy, I would have known.
Yeah.
What are some of the shit you've seen?
Oh man,
dude. Oh my God! I've seen
first
guys
one that comes
leave the locker room. Leave the locker room when their hand wraps are already taped or whatever. They leave the locker room, come back, have to have them cut off, because they left the locker room, and they had to have them retaped. They're complaining and bitching the whole time, especially since it was somebody else that taped their hands. Whoever was cornering them didn't know how to tape hands. They left the locker room again. And I think the fight was canceled. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on if the fight was canceled, but they couldn't find anybody to tape the hands, and the fight was up next and stuff. They were like, we're gonna push it back, and then I think it ended up not happening.
They're finding glass and shit in the wraps.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if the guy just didn't get it. It was one of those situations where there's some people that just don't get it, or they don't come from a gym and stuff like that. So it's just. And I don't, there's no disrespect to the guys that don't have a formal gym or facility to train at and everything, because it's not always where you train, it's who's training you, because a guy could have a lot of knowledge but not a lot of money, so it is what it is. You could be training in, the Gracies started off in a garage, and it's they knew what they were doing though, so it worked out. But there's some guys that gets people convinced that they know what they're doing, but they don't.
They have no idea.
Then they start training in their garage, or even they convince that they convince themselves they know what they're doing, but they really don't. And then they convince a bunch of other people that they are the guy and that they have other people training under them in their garage and stuff and whatever. But
they're the baddest dudes in the world when they have no idea what they're doing.
Exactly, And this was one of those guys, And he's like, I don't know if he watched a lot of movies or TV or thought it was like the UFC or however it was, but. He just did not get it. You don't leave the locker room. They told you twice. And, it was
They already cut your wraps off once. Yeah, just don't.
Yeah, but, yeah. And sorry, TJ, I think you were about to go on with one because there's a lot, dude.
Oh, man, there's a bunch. Yeah, the first one I was going to think about, and this one isn't even crazy, but it was just funny to me. It showed me the inside of, boxing politics, and it was actually when you were fighting on the Mike Tyson undercard at the Target Center that year, and you probably remember this story, but there was a couple guys. They weren't even local. One guy was from, Dominican Republic. The other guy was from New York. But the guy from New York, he apparently signed a contract and requested that his fighter only fights in Everlast boxing gloves. And the commissioner, somebody approved and gave these Everlast boxing gloves to this random fighter from the Dominican Republic. And this guy from the Dominican Republic was literally brought in to lose. He actually was brought in to fight Erickson Lubin, who turned out to be a world champion, monster fighter, fought for a world title against Jamal Charlo. And this was Erickson Lubin's pro debut or his second fight, if I can remember correctly, because this is some time ago, 2014, just absolutely smokes this guy. And so the guy comes back, and that's when the coach finds out that he wore his fighter's gloves. And so this fighter's sitting there, and luckily for him, he didn't speak English probably. Yeah. But this coach is like, you gave my fucking gloves to a guy that got knocked out in 30 fucking seconds? And he's just going off on this poor kid, and it's not his fault in the slightest. But like I said, the best part about it, luckily, was probably that kid had no idea what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave my gloves to this piece of trash. Just ripping the guy.
Oh my God! I remember.
Then just talking about.
Sorry. I got one more. One more.
Yeah, we got one more because I didn't even realize this, fellas. We've just been going. We're at 38 minutes right now.
Oh wow! Right. Okay, let me just get this one out. Okay, so this was a kickboxing tournament that I was part of, and my boxing coach, Thomas Jones, real intense guy. Loves boxing. I mean, fucking A, dedicated his entire life to it, working with kids still to this day. He got my hands ready, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to boxing. Now, I was going up against another guy in the first round of this tournament, and his coach didn't know shit, didn't know anything, didn't dude, he couldn't one of those quotes that TJ had told me once that was really funny, and I used in one of my joking videos. It was he wouldn't fit in around boxers if he was sitting in my underwear drawer. Dude didn't know nothing. Didn't know nothing about boxing. Didn't know anything about fighting at all. So Thomas is taping my hands, getting ready for the fight, and this guy's sitting there like critiquing everything that Thomas is doing as he's taping my hands and stuff. He's like, oh, that's not it, you know. And Thomas is getting mad as hell, madder and madder and madder and madder. Like, who the hell does this dude think he is? And like, he's arguing with the dude. I'm like, Thomas, just calm down. Like, I think he's trying to do this to you, you know. So he finished. I mean, it took like almost an hour for him to take my hands because he's arguing with this guy the whole time.
Wound up, yeah.
Yeah. So he finally gets done taping my hands. Then we go like Thomas is all, I want to see you tape his hands. I want to see you tape his hands or whatever. And then this guy didn't know how to tape hands at all. I think somebody else, one of the other fighters ended up taping his hands or something like that. And it was just like, what the hell, dude? And you're critiquing me and everything. And it was just a lot of BS. So anyway, after the first round of the tournament, like I mean, my opponent was tough as hell. I mean, couldn't get the finish, but I did whatever I wanted to him.
Man, tough guy.
Yeah, and because of this, like Thomas wasn't even coaching me. He was yelling at the other guy's coach saying, yeah, he's whooping your boy's ass the whole time. And then I'm sitting there because I'm a shit talker too. I'm in the cage hitting him. I'm like looking over. I'm like, hey, watch this. Boom, 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 boom. He says, oh, that didn't even hurt him. But they all landed though. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm talking to his coach too. So it was that.
That's terrible.
That was fun. And like Thomas literally, I don't think he said anything to me the entire fight until after the fight. He was like, you whooped that motherfucker's ass. And he's all happy about it.
Oh, man.
That's the last story that I got for today.
Yeah, that's the scum people of this sport. It's like, even like what we were talking about, just people trying to act like, some, crazy god at this shit when they have no idea what they're doing.
Well, don't get me wrong. I started doing that only on a few occasions I've actually done it, but where I've gotten into people's faces, I'm like, oh, no, that's how you tape his hands? Oh, okay. And then I just let the
messing with them, though.
I don't really care. You tape his
hands. I wouldn't do that, man.
Perfect, but I mean, I guess if that's how you
that's
do
what you do.
Yeah, I guess. But when you're dead serious, like even after the fight where you're...
One of the funniest things is like every fighter has the right to watch their opponent get their hands taped. Not everybody knows this for whatever reason, but everybody has the right to watch their opponent get their hands taped along with the commissioner. The commissioner watches because, and you're saying like, oh, I trust the commissioner's opinion, so I don't need to be there, but you still have the right to be there with the commissioner, somebody from your team. But say they never request to be next to you while you're getting your hands wrapped and you get your hands wrapped right away, that's fine. And then you ask to see them get their hands wrapped. You get to watch them get their hands wrapped because they're not wrapped yet. And they're like, well, I didn't get to see you wrap yours, undo yours. And like, no, it doesn't work like that. You should have said something before. You should have said something to the commission the whole time. I told the commission. And then if you tell the commission that you want to see them get their hands wrapped and then their hands get wrapped and no one comes and gets you to go watch them, they have to do it over because you made the request. It's just ways to be a dick in the fight game.
Yeah, for a rainy day.
Like not too many people actually like go hard and like, but in boxing, dude, you see it back and forth so much. It's crazy. It is
a lot of dumb mind games.
Yeah, like it's oh man, I'm gonna keep going on fight stories, dude. Fuck, I'm sorry.
No, exactly. Well, again, Tom, this was by far the craziest inside the trash can by any means, and I think this only happens with you because you're just such an easy cat to talk to for sure, man.
Oh, you guys are too.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna talk to you again before your fight. That's in December still.
I hope, man.
So we'll be talking to you soon. To get everybody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to Trash Talk with Damion and TJ on YouTube.
You guys mind if I give a shout out to some sponsors quick?
Hell yeah, go for it, baby.
Thanks, man. I just want to thank Riverside Tavern in Forest City, Minnesota, and then Tarps Inc. in Shakopee, and then Crest Exteriors and Rye Gun Trucking. They make my life a lot easier, and I want to thank my wife, Corey. She's an amazing woman. Really holds everything down. I can't talk highly enough about her. And hell yeah.